Well, there you go. The Season 5 Stanley Cup champions for the first time in franchise history, the Phoenix Coyotes, with the Springfield Falcons taking home the Calder Cup championship. We'll take a look at this Coyotes roster and who was on it, and we'll take a peek at the playoff tree. And the salary cap information going into Season 6, so it is on the screen for us. And I don't know what it was the previous year, but it has gone up. First things first, the playoff tree. The Carolina Hurricanes fall in 5 games to the Phoenix Coyotes. So we've got a real battle of non-traditional playoff or non-traditional hockey markets battling for the Stanley Cup. This is the way the East shook out. So we had Buffalo and Washington in the first round going up against each other. Buffalo takes care of them in 7 games. Florida and Toronto. Toronto manages to get past Florida in this game world here. Carolina over Philly in 6. And the Devils beat the Blue Jackets in 5 games. Then we saw Carolina, New Jersey in round 2. Buffalo, Toronto. Buffalo and Carolina would go on to rematch again in the Eastern Conference Final. A little rematch from 2006 there. And again, the Carolina Hurricanes win in 7 games over the Sabres. Then in the West, the road to the final for the Coyotes, who of course won the Stanley Cup. They beat the Sharks in a sweep. They beat the Kings in 5 games, and they win in 7 over Winnipeg. Of course, that would be a very interesting series because you've got the Coyotes, who originally were in Winnipeg before the original Jets moved to Phoenix. Johnny Gaudreau and the Flames, they fall to the LA Kings in 5 games, so we'll take a peek at Johnny Gaudreau's playoff stats, I guess. Nashville falling to Vancouver, and Winnipeg over Minnesota in 6 games. There is your entire playoff bracket for you. And again, the Stanley Cup champions in Season 5, the Phoenix Coyotes. And before we look at stats, of course, the awards screen, there's your last 4 Stanley Cup champions in the game. So the Hurricanes actually did win in 2015-16. Who did they defeat that year? I thought did they play Phoenix? Did we have a Stanley Cup rematch? We're going to find out in just a second. But we have Phoenix as the defending champions, obviously. President's Trophy winners, Nashville Predators. Calgary won it back-to-back years. Buffalo the year prior. The Clarence S. Campbell. It was the Coyotes. Wow. So, hold on. Let me go all the way back. So the year the Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup, 15-16 season, they played the Phoenix Coyotes in the Stanley Cup Final. We get a rematch of that Stanley Cup Final here in Season 5, the 17-18 season, and the Coyotes get their revenge on the very Hurricanes that beat them 2 years ago. So how about that for a story or a tale in this GM mode? That would be very interesting to see. So the Art Ross Trophy, the player trophies. Daniel Sedin wins the 17-18 Art Ross Trophy. Daniel Sedin taking home the Hart. So, wow, Daniel Sedin is very valuable to these Columbus Blue Jackets. And he's on the verge of retire. He may retire. We'll see the retired players screen soon. The Norris to Seth Jones, who is still with Nashville. You know, that could be a very interesting player to try and pry out of Nashville should we need to do it. Pay attention to Seth Jones. Should we be able to get the reigning Norris Trophy winner, the lady being the Jonathan Drouin. I mean, this guy wins all kinds of awards. I think he won the Richard Trophy. Did he win the Richard Trophy again this year? McDavid winning the Calder. Big shock there, man. So Connor McDavid's rookie season has completed. Conn Smythe to Mike Smith. That's not a shock there, I guess. I'll have to take a look at this Coyotes roster, but he was the best player in the playoffs for the Stanley Cup winning Coyotes. Carey Price takes home the Vezina. Oh, there you go. It's about time he took home the best goaltender in the entire league. It didn't really do us any good in the season to get us into the playoffs. We didn't even make the playoffs this past year. Pekka Rinne winning the William M. Jennings. So usually this goes to a goaltending tandem. You can see in 16-17, it went to Ryan Miller and Makarov. But Pekka Rinne wins it all by himself. It just goes to him. So there must have been a goaltender that didn't play 25 games for the Predators alongside Rinne. That's why. Luke Schenn taking the Masterton for the Flyers. Taves with the Selke. He is second in 4 years. Ted Lindsay to Daniel Sedin, so he's taken home a lot of trophies. He's had quite the award show. Jonathan Drouin did win the Maurice Richard. Is that the last trophy? It is the Richard Trophy, and that's it for all the individual and team awards. I guess you could look at it that way too. Let's take a look at this Coyotes team. Patrick Kane is on the Yotes, and he actually carried this team with 10 goals, 22 points in 21 games. Amazing. Honestly, it's kind of a shock that he's not the Conn Smythe winner. Mike Smith's stats must have been phenomenal, because that's a great playoff there for Patrick Kane, who is 29 years old at this stage of his career. Great decision to sign in Phoenix. He's had his second Stanley Cup final appearance in 4 seasons with the Coyotes, and of course has now won that Stanley Cup with the Coyotes. Chris Stewart on the Yotes. Hansel, their longtime Coyotes center, he's going to be a Stanley Cup champion now. Jack Connolly, Clark MacArthur, former Leaf there. David Rundblad, Keith Yandel, Radim Verbata, Ekman Larson, Stone. Yeah, a lot of the core players of this Coyotes team have remained there, and they get rewarded for it with a big championship season. Kostitsyn on the Coyotes. Always love Kostitsyn in the video game. He's so much fun to have. But just 1 goal, 4 points in 21 games. McCulloch, Gormley, yeah, it's just all Coyotes. Joe Vitale, Connor Murphy. I mean, Cal Clutterbuck is an odd one there. That's not on the Coyotes in the real world, but he is here. Cody McLeod, Nathan Gerby finds his way to the Coyotes, playing 7 games. What is Gerby? He's 30, but he's just 76 overall now. But so he got in there, probably due to injury. So that is the Stanley Cup winning roster for you there. But what about the goaltending? What did Mike Smith do? He played all 21 games, so they didn't need any relief. He had a 1.4. Okay, yeah, this is why. This is why he won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Sub 2 GAA. What's the save percentage? Before I look at it, I gotta guess. 946. 9508. My goodness gracious. Mike Smith doing work, doing miracles in that goal crease for this Coyotes team. He was unstoppable. You couldn't score on him. It's a miracle that the Coyotes lost 5 games in this postseason run. How many shots did he face? He's faced 630 and gave up 31 goals. Just ungodly numbers. I told you we'd take a look at Johnny Gaudreau's playoff run that he had with the Flames, so I got to find the Flames here. I also want to take a look at the Carolina Hurricanes and just see if their roster is any different from when they won a couple seasons ago. There's Gaudreau. 1 goal, 2 points, -2, 4 penalty minutes. So yeah, not a whole lot, I guess, to talk about with Gaudreau. He's 24. And remember, he is a created player. I created Gaudreau and added him into the game. So he does have playoff experience in past seasons. Look at this, 7 games. 7 games here. Not getting a lot of games with these Flames teams. They're getting eliminated in the first round every single time. But he's up to an 85 now. 85 overall. Wearing the number 16 there in Calgary. 2 points, 6 points, 5 points. All right. So is Camilleri still there? Yeah, that's why. So Camilleri has the number 13. And he's still there. He's 36. Should be retiring soon. So Gaudreau should get his number 13 very soon. And we're curious about these Carolina Hurricanes led by Eric Stahl, 23 points, point-per-game player in the playoff. Jeff Skinner, Zach Boychuk, Jordan Stahl, Semin Falk, Niemela, Ryan Jones, Tim Gleason, Pitkin, Lindholm, Prust on the Hurricanes. It's an interesting addition there. He was once upon a time with our Canadiens, of course. Yuri Talusti, Stromwall, Vermette, Dalpe, Murphy, Rutu, Hoare. Yeah, Tyler Hoare. And he's 69 overall. Nice. Usula, Gazdic, and that's it. And in the net, is it still Cam Ward there? It is still Cam Ward, 34. He's getting up there. He's at the end of his career. I mean, Cam Ward puts up incredible numbers. He had look at his save percentage. Look at his GAA. And it was still not good enough to outdo Mike Smith. Oh, and I don't think this was in the previous video, but I want to show the team standings for the entire league. So this is how the entire league went in the regular season, because this was not the last video that I did. But 105 points. Obviously, Nashville takes home the President's Trophy season. Buffalo recently won a President's Trophy. They finished a point shy of Nashville's 105 with a 49-win season. Florida, Phoenix, Carolina. Phoenix and Carolina right there. Columbus, New Jersey, Calgary. Down the list we go. LA, Philly, Minnesota, Washington, Toronto, Winnipeg, San Jose, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Montreal, Vancouver, Tampa Bay, Rangers, Islanders, Chicago, Ottawa, Boston, Anaheim, Dallas, St. Louis, Colorado, Edmonton, and Edmonton should be looking for that lottery pick. Man, they wish they had McDavid right now. We're going to check out each division as well, just so I can sort it by division. So Coyotes win their division. That's the Pacific. The Central going obviously to Nashville. The Atlantic going to Buffalo. We finished 5th in the division and that close to the playoff line. So Detroit didn't get in, did they? Detroit didn't get in. What was the cutoff for the playoffs? It would have been a wild card in the Metro. Washington and Philly got in, and that was with 94 points. We had 89. So, yeah, we needed a much better season to get into the playoffs, but that's the way the Metro shook out, and there you go. Retired players, finally. Here's the retired screen. Joe Thornton calls it a career. 1,500 games played, 432 goals, 1,447 points. Chris Phillips with the Senators, longtime Sen. He retires. Brad Stewart, Marian Gaborik, Justin Williams, Antropov. Verbata out as a champion with the Coyotes after 1,103 games. Zetterberg hangs him up. Andrew Ferentz finally calling it quits. He's been around for a while in this game. Brad Boyes, Volchenkov, Hainsey, Cronwall with the Panthers retires. Paul Gaustad. Rene Bourque retires with the Bruins, former Hab there. Jim Slater, Dustin Penner, Mike Rupp, Danny Paille, Matt Green, Kevin Bieksa. Juice retires with the Capitals. Wojtek Wolski, what a name. Rich Peverly, Brandon Pruss with the Hurricanes. Then we're down to free agent guys. Is that Colton Orr? Colton Orr calling it a career. The I guess an enforcer or whatever you want to go with. Tanner Glass is done. Ben Lovejoy. I'm trying to see some of these names I remember. So, yeah, that's all the skaters. And the goaltender, man, Rick DiPietro. The Islanders saddled with that Rick DiPietro contract. Saddled with it no more. He has retired after 487 games. Remember, we saw him in, was it the Season 1 playoffs? We saw the Islanders. He couldn't stop a beach ball in that series. I guess some things... Well, what happened with Rick DiPietro in the real world is a lot of unfortunate injuries, was it not? A bunch of concussion issues. And he just kind of had an unfortunate career that was meant to be so much more. And I believe when he was actually able to play, that DiPietro was actually pretty good when he was able to play. But anyway... 487 games. That's a career for Rick DiPietro. Ray Emery, who I believe passed away not too long ago. Rest in peace, Ray Emery. He retires in this game as a free agent, not getting any offers. So there's all these goaltenders that are done. So that takes us into the draft, and this is the draft order. Edmonton first overall, so they did get that draft lottery. We don't have a first-round pick right now. And I don't know what the odds of getting one are going to be. I could try to trade a bunch of picks because, let me take a look at what I got. It's either trade a prospect or trade a player and get for a first-round pick. Or so. I don't know what we're going to do here. Now, remember, we did get this Vavoda guy, my created player Vavoda. We did get him in that one draft, and I look at Vavoda as, you know, making up for the fact that we don't have a first-round pick this year. We're kind of waiting on him. He's 71 overall. He played 76 AHL games last year with 29 points. Kind of looking at him as the player that's going to come up next year. We got him at 4th overall in the 2016 draft. This is the 2018 draft, is it not? I don't think there's really anything that I can trade. Hemsky is apparently probably going to play next year, which is fine with me. I don't really have a player or a prospect that I could really use as a trade chip to get a first-round pick. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Yemelin, but I got to take a peek at what I can get here. So Anaheim, let's just step away. Anaheim. All right, here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of getting this 25th pick that belongs to Florida, but Detroit possesses it for the 2018 draft. 25th overall pick. We send him a 3rd, and we send him Alexei Yemelin. How old is Yemelin? He's 32. I would like to move on from Yemelin, so this will be my second time in the GM mode. trading Yemelin, who's really, I don't really have a problem with him, but he's been really decent on our defense side of the puck. This is what he did in the playoffs in 20 games, the year we won the Stanley Cup, the 16-17 season. But I'm kind of ready to move on from Yemelin. I just don't see a place in the lineup for him, and I think we can get better at D in free agency and just spend some money there. We get a first-round pick back. We move Yemelin and a third to get a first-round pick this year. And Detroit, I want to just show this. Let me see. I got to find the draft picks. Just give me a second here. There it is, draft position. They have 3 first-round picks this year, so I mean, I'm sure they would have no problem with doing this deal. Plus, they want Yemelin and the third. And we'd be moving $3.395 million out the door. Before I do this, how long is Yemelin under contract for? 1 year left. So that probably, maybe that suits Detroit, or do they turn this down because that might be an expiring contract? Let's see what Detroit says. And they do decline because of the expiring contract of Yemelin. I felt like that was going to be the case before I proposed this offer. So that's really unfortunate. And that means that phone is gone. Well, I'm just going to shut down the phones. Hedman goes off the board. We're going to have to take a look at these top 5 players. Hedman, Pakashlati, Topiko, Glumak, and Cormier all going in the top 5. Boston getting a 6th overall pick there. So at least it's all on the screen, and you can see who's picking where. And by the way, Chicago takes Mink, Mink. And could you imagine if we could have drafted Mink, and then we would have Ming and Mink? That wouldn't get confusing at all for me. I don't need that level of confusion. I don't know who. So were we picking 12th overall? Who had our draft pick? The Edmonton Oilers? Yes. Edmonton drafts Beta, so we got to take a look at Beta because we sent our first round pick this year to get Ales Hemsky from the Oilers. So that's who they drafted with that pick. And we would have had the 12th overall pick. I want to see how good Beta is. I actually need to take a picture of this on my phone so I can refer to this in the contract screen in the offseason. So there's all the names that have gone off the board. I showed the first round, and you can see the first round. This is the second round. All the names have gone off the board in the second round here. We have the 12th pick of the second round. There should be some decent players still here. We've done our scouting. These guys are projected. I'm going to go based on projection. And then what my scouts are saying are the decent players. Let me just try to get a read on some of these guys. So these guys that are 2.5 green star. Stephen Boland, he's a big-sized defenseman. He's 19. He's playing in the WHL with Regina. Regina never fails to get me with that one because of how close it sounds to, yeah. So there's Stephen Boland. Just want to show up the scouting profile that we have on him. And I don't really know that there's anything I can go off of here because, I mean, how many times did we scout these guys? We had 3 or more visits on Marshall Correa. I just love the last name because of the similar last name to Paul Correa. He's 19, though, defenseman. Pretty big size, though, 6'3", 208. And again, you know, Canada has, our scout in Canada has a level B scout in Canada. So that means, I guess I can get to a level A. And this would also be a guy that played in Canada. Yeah. So there's Korea, 2 defensemen there. There is high interest and there are high projections. What about this guy, Christopher Reed? He is also a defenseman, but he's 18. You know, there's a chance that the younger player could be better. I might take the chance on the 18-year-old, and maybe he actually has more room for growth and potential. Christian Franzen is the 20-year-old. Probably better right away is Christian Franzen, but maybe the potential. But 6'4", 237? Do you draft purely based on size there? I like the size there. But there's more. There is more. There's Franklin Gilroy. He is 19. I think we just got to take the 18-year-old. I mean, it's the second round. The odds of the player being something in the NHL, probably not that high. My gut tells me let's go with the 18-year-old, which was... Who was it? Was it Korea? It was Junior Harrington. No, it wasn't Junior. Maybe it was Junior Harrington. We have 2 scouting visits on Junior Harrington, but he's a center. I think we got to draft the defenseman here, but who was the 18-year-old that we were looking at? It was Christopher Reed. Christopher Reed was the 18-year-old. He's playing in the WHL with Prince Albert. I'm going to take Christopher Reed off the board. That'll give us a defenseman, left shot, and that'll fill, in my opinion, what is, in my opinion, a need. Before we do this, though, is there any goaltenders? Any goaltenders projected? Nothing. Well, there's, no, that's skaters. Goalies, Bonvi. Did we scout him at all? Didn't scout him at all. I don't think we really even did any goaltending scouting. We did scout this Kuhlman, but he's projected to go later. We might take a goaltender. If Kuhlman's on the board in the third round when I pick, I'll take him. But for now, let's just take that defenseman. Christopher Reed, we're taking you. And I can't wait to look at some of these other players. Bolin goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Correa goes to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Oh, are you kidding me? Kuhlman was there, and Nashville takes him off the board at 11th in the third round. The 11th pick of the third round, he goes right to Nashville. So that kind of throws off my plans. Now, at this point, we're just kind of throwing darts at the board. We got Shane Pope's 19-year-old defenseman. Drew Stevens. I really want a wing now. I want a wing. But at this point, I think you're drafting probably based on size. And I like the 6'5", 247. I mean, 18 years old. This Rory Wedderburn... these names EA at this point. But it's the 6'5", 247. My God, you can never have too many big players in your organization, in my opinion. Steve's, how big is Steve? 6'5", 240. What are they feeding these guys? So 6'5", 246. And who was it? Wedderburn, 6'5", 247. I'm just going to take Wedderburn, left shot D. Take him. I don't care how good he is. He's got size on him. Now we're really in the guts of the draft now, where there is just nothing available based on potential. You know, there is this awesome name right here. Gervais Chenard. Gervais Chenard? I mean, I'm just going to draft the player based on the name. Based on the name, I have to draft that player. You know, we're taking Caesar Gervais Chenard. I mean, I'm probably butchering it. It's definitely a French-Canadian player. He's a playmaking wing, and I told you I wanted a wing smaller, 5'11", 178, but we're taking him. Made that kid's day by announcing him as a Canadiens draft pick. So we're just going to auto-sim the rest of this draft, and we can just take a look back at the rounds at the end of it. So there you go. The 7th round, the 6th round, the 5th round, 4th round, 3rd round in review, 2nd round, 1st round we of course didn't have a pick. So I got to take a look at those top 6 skaters. Okay, there you go. Jorgen Hedman. First off, first overall pick. Where's the number 1 as well? Goaltender Jorgen Hedman. There you go. 2018 first overall pick by the Oilers. They take a goalie. They could probably use this guy in the real world right now with the way things are going with Stuart Skinner in the net. So Edmonton takes Hedman, but they also drafted another player with the 12th overall pick that was originally mine, and they took... Who'd they take with that pick? Beta. Oh, Oilers take Aaron Beta, 12th overall. That was originally my pick. This is a good player. This is a pretty good little pick here. 74 overall now. He is 20, so he's going to be better already because he is 20. But, I mean, maybe the room for potential. I mean, he's 4 gold star potential. That's a pretty good player. 5'9", 176, smaller player. But, you know, I mean, look at the shooting category already. Look at the skating category. That could have been my pick. So Aaron Beta could be one to pay attention to from Canada. Left wing sniper. And Tommy Pakaslotti, Finnish goaltender, goes 2nd overall in the 2018 draft to the Colorado Avalanche. 68 overall, hybrid goaltender. Hard to really say how good these guys are going to be because goalies are something that they're so far out. We're not going to find out for years how good this guy is, but there's your 2nd overall pick by the Avalanche. 19-year-old, 5'11", 179 goaltender. St. Louis Blues get Vitaly Tolpico, 4-star gold star potential, 59 overall, 2-way forward center. He was taken 3rd overall. He's 20 years old. That's not a miss with that pick. Not a miss at all. It's the 59 overall, though, that's a little concerning, I guess. At 20 years old, I could live with that if he was like 18 or 19 years old, but 59 overall. And yes, there's the potential, but what is the likelihood that he reaches that potential, especially being a 3rd overall pick in this draft? Walter Glumak, 69 overall at 20, but with that 3.5 Green Star potential, he goes 4th overall to the Dallas Stars as, again, a 20-year-old. But the rating, the overall rating is there now, but the question will be, again, same thing, rated. The rating is there, but what about the potential over the long haul? Will that be much of anything? Again, 4th overall pick to the Stars. Anaheim takes potentially the best goalie in the draft. I mean, this was a good year to draft goaltenders, apparently, and they all went early on in this one. Vincent Cormier, the Canadian goaltender, 18 years of age, 6'1", 188. 4.5 Gold Star potential. He is the 5th overall pick of the draft, and he's 51 overall right now, but it's not the overall. Doesn't really bother me with goaltenders because they just need to develop and they need to grow. I think Anaheim really hit this one out of the park, especially being, 5th overall pick. That's a solid one. We'll pay attention to his growth. Did the Bruins really get the best pick in this one of all the forwards? I mean, they take 73 overall, 18 years old, 4.5 Gold Star potential player, left wing, two-way forward, Russ Kobayashi, 6th overall pick in this draft. I mean, wow, they nailed this pick. How did this guy fall? 6th overall. The Bruins get a gift here. I was curious about Mink, so here's Sheldon Mink, 4-star potential, 4 Gold Star, 19 years old. He was the 8th overall pick in the draft by the Blackhawks. Okay, so here's one of our draft picks. This was the 4th round pick, 102nd overall pick. This was the Gavin pick, the 5'11", 178 right wing, a 1 Gold Star potential. But I drafted him entirely based on the name. And then there's Rory Wedderburn, based entirely on the 6'5", 247 size tag on this guy, 18 years old. He was the 3rd round, 72nd overall pick in the draft. And Christopher Reed. So Chris Reed, that was the 2nd round pick, 42nd overall pick in the draft. The defenseman that was he wears number 87 as well. That's not going to fly here because we got a guy named Su Kai Ming. I don't know if this guy will get a contract, but we'll pay attention to where he grows and develops because I don't have to offer him a contract yet before he becomes a free agent. But he's 58 overall right now. And now it's time for free agency. Wow, Ales Hemsky wants to come back. But, I mean, my question is, what does he want? Do I want to really give a 34-year-old Ales Hemsky? He wants 1 year. I'm willing to try 1 year with Hemsky. So, Hemsky, I'm going to do 2.38 for 1 year. Tell me what you think about it. I mean, it's your offer to consider. I'm not too fussed if Hemsky leaves via free agency. I would have honestly expected him to kind of retire. He is dropping. That potential's not there anymore. But, I mean, he's 83 overall. That may not be the case when the season starts. But, he could be a decent little 4th line option for us. It's a 1-year offer. Johnny Boychuk, we got and now I'm kind of glad I didn't trade Alexei Yemlin. He wants 3 years at 34. Hell no. Get out of my office. Mike Koska. Koska, you're a good AHL depth option, so I keep bringing you back every single year. I'm good with that, and honestly, I'm good with Strawman. I need these depth options. 1 year, great stuff. Yemlin is a free agent, as we found out in the offseason. He wants 2 years. You could do I'm just gonna go get depth and free agency. I mean, I know Yemlin's right here. I'm gonna pass on Yemlin. We might have a lot of shopping to do in free agency because we're letting Boychuk go due to age. I'm not willing to give him that kind of term at 34 years old. Yemlin is another tough one. Just a player I could easily pass on. Chris Butler, please be 1 year. 2 years, but that's cheap, man. 2 years at 1.510. Think about it. Could be an extra 7th defenseman. Ryan White, we just keep bringing you back every single year, so why not? I mean, he's a playoff hero for this team. I owe him that. Weston, we can do that. I can do with Weston again. Lars Eller. You know, Eller's pretty good. I need Eller. I need all the good forwards that I can get. And Eller is, I don't know what's going to be available in free agency, but I can definitely come way down on the dollar value. What do you think about 4.745 at 3 years, Lars Eller to be on my second line? Now, I can't just go throwing money around like crazy. Hjalmarsson could be a good depth option. I'm not going to be able to shave a lot off that dollar value, but honestly, the cap's gone up, and I don't need to save that much money. So I'll give Simon Hjalmarsson the opportunity to think about that deal. I got so many free agents, man. Quayler, I just love it for the last name, calling him the Quaalude, being a depth option in the A. It's just really an easy contract offer. Colborne, the same thing. Easy depth call-up option should we need it. If we have injuries and he can play in the A. I'm just bringing back all the same guys. Oh, okay, Kamayev, that's actually reasonable. I'm going to go back to Kamayev. 2 years, that's fine with me. Russell Glenncross, we drafted him second round pick 2 years ago. You know, I'm going to give him a shot. Let's just see. I mean, he's got 3 gold star. Maybe he grows a little bit. We'll give him a shot. We'll give him a contract offer. So this is where it gets interesting because I do believe Carey Price is due. Oh, wow. Look at all the goaltenders. Every goalie is due for a contract here. So Fucali's an easy one. We just tender that. Let's start with that. We'll tender Fucali. Smogeli. What a last name there. Carey Price, you're due a new offer, and I have to do it. 5 years is perfect. $8 million. I'm going to go a little bit more than that. Carey Price is worth the money. I'm going to go a little bit more. I want to make sure Price comes back to the Canadiens. Be my elite goaltender for the Habs. Your jersey is going into the rafters at some point in the future. Elliott, does he want a really cheap deal? He does. For 1 year. I mean, it would save me so much money. Easy backup. Run it back with Elliott. Sure, why not? Peter Budaj, you can play in the A. 1 year? 1 year? Yeah, that'll save me some money. All right, that's good with me. And we tendered Fucali, so we're just running back the goaltending duos. Man, I got a lot of guys coming back. Butler renews. Glenncross signs. Hemsky rejected. Okay, I don't really feel too bad about that. Budaj back. Price is back. Ryan White's back. Lars Eller rejects. Okay, I'm going to have to go back to Eller. Strawman. Elliott good. Colborne good. Natanen good. Ellis good. Bourneval good. Quayler good. Koska good. Hjalmarsson good. Weston good. Kamaya. Okay, so I just need to go back to Lars Eller. I don't care. I could care less when it comes to Hemsky. You were just a trade deadline acquisition anyway. And maybe we got Voivoda. Maybe he's ready. So I just got to find Eller, man. And there you are, Lars Eller. Lars Eller, you stubborn little prick. What did I go down? Did I go down? I'm going to go down to $5 million. I'll give you $5 million even for 3 years. I don't want to play these little games with you, Lars Eller, but apparently you're going to be hard about this. So correct me if I'm wrong. I think we got all of my goaltenders taken care of. Eller might get back to me pretty quickly here. Galchenyuk re-signs with Colorado, so they re-upped. No problems there. I gotta take a look at what potential RFAs I could do an offer sheet for. There you go. And Lars Eller liked that $5 million. So how much? I don't have a lot of cap space. Crapola. Which is fine. When we get to free agency, I'm just going to have to add little pieces here and there. I got my goaltenders taken care of. I mean, because Carey Price is eating a chunk out of my cap space with that $8 million deal. But, you know, didn't he sign like a $10 million deal in the real world? So, around the same time. So, I mean, I think I made out pretty well with that contract. He might be the highest paid goaltender in the game, but I don't care about that stuff, whether he is the highest paid or not. Patrick Holland back on the team. Kohlberg signed. So now we get into free agency, and this is where I've got to look at potential RFAs that I can offer sheet, if there are any. But mainly, I want to add some depth to this team, and we're going to have to be smart about how we add depth to the team. Finally, we could get into free agents, but what RFAs are there? Okay. Griffin Reinhardt is an RFA. William Karlsson, an RFA. Johan Larson. There's really nothing on the table here as far as skaters. Madison Bowie, I remember him. Any goaltenders? Brandon Hope. Oh my goodness, Brandon Hope would be a fun offer sheet. What would be the compensation for that? Dude, I really would love to offer sheet Brandon Hope. But I'm gonna pass on that. We've got our goaltenders. Sub-Zero Malcolm Subban is in here. Fucali is obviously available to be offer sheeted. He's our goaltender, but I don't think anybody is going to. I don't think we have to worry about him being offer sheeted. But maybe I'm wrong. Is the potential in here? Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Malcolm Subban, dude. The potential on Subban is unbelievable. And he's 24. Oh man. Pay attention to Subban. What team owns his rights? Who has Subban's rights? I don't know. I'm not worried about it. There's really nothing on the RFA market. It's fine. Mark Stahl, okay. On D, it's thinned out a little bit. I mean, we got our top 3 defensemen. We got our top 3. We're missing Boychuk because we left him to free agency. But we got Subban, Hedman, Tamernis all locked up. So that's all good and well with me. Babchuk's here. And Chris Butler's kind of someone that I see as a 7th D. So the way I look at this is maybe we get 1 or 2 defensemen in free agency. We're going to have to watch the money because I don't have a lot of cap space. I have 6.6. So we're going to have to spend the money wisely here. We can't go get a big fish. We don't need a big fish. Our big fish defensemen are Subban and Hedman. We could use a mid to maybe an 83, 84 overall defenseman to play with Tamernis on that second pair. My third pair could be Babchuk, Butler, whoever. So defenseman on my shopping list. Ooh, Torrey Krug, but making a little too much money right there. He wants a little too much. Yemlin, Simon Luff. We could go back to him from the Flames GM mode. We know about him. So yeah, there's not a lot. Torrey Krug does interest me. He has one other team interested. He's 83 overall, and that fits right where I need. Now, you know, I don't need a lot forward-wise. I need a little bit of depth. I'm willing to pay Krug. You know, we can save a little bit of money, too, by coming down on the 80 or whatever % rule. You know, what if I go 3.8 Torrey Krug, 2 years? I'll give you that. Toronto is interested. So we'd be battling, of course, with Toronto for Torrey Krug's services. He is... What type of defenseman is he? Does it even say? It just says he's a top 6... I thought he was an offensive-minded D. Torrey Krug, he is offensive-minded defenseman, 27 years old. I'm willing to do that, so I gave that offer in the mail for Krug. Now, is there a good... Oh, we could go back to Bobby Sanguinetti. We let him go. I'm looking for just a cheap, like, almost like an option for purely for depth that wants like a sub $1 million deal. I mean, I'm going to go, you know, let's go Brian Dumoulin as a depth option. And now I just need like 2 just decent depth forwards. We could go to like a cheaper Mason Raymond. You want how many years? 2 years at 32. Let's look at specific categories. Good skater and a good shot. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for someone to play like in my bottom 6 here. That's all that I'm looking for. Bottom 6 forwards. We could go Bozak. We could go Vermette for... Vermette's 35. Rhett Rakshani. Do you do anything particularly well? Rakshani does a little bit well. You know, I kind of like Rakshani. We're going to approach Rhett Rakshani for 1 year. I'm going to come down a little bit off the dollar value, but not too much. 1.430 for 1 year. Rhett Rakshani. Somebody getting back to me now. Torrey Krug has accepted. So there you go. Torrey Krug is a HAB. We beat out the Leafs for the services of Krug. We also get the cheap Dumoulin as a depth option. And Rhett Rakshani has accepted my contract offers. Very nice. So if we advance the day, those guys should be on my roster or whatever, and they should bite into my cap. I have 3.3 million in cap space available. So that means I could go get another depth forward. I have the cap space for it. So I don't have a whole lot to choose from, but you know what? Let's try to get... let's get Bozak. Do we want to go Bozak? You know, we need some size. We need some size in this lineup. Let's do Brian Bickle. Let's get Brian Bickle. Let's get Bix a deal. So Bickle, unfortunately diagnosed with MS. We owe it to Brian Bickle. Let's get him in here. Give him a contract offer. He should respond soon. It's a 1-year deal very easily at 32 years of age. And Bickle should respond soon. He accepts Brian Bickle on the team now. That solves pretty much all my options at all my positions, and we can basically get toward preseason and then, of course, eventually the regular season, and I should have plenty of cap space. The Devils put Kovalchuk on the block, so I guess that crazy big contract was too much for the New Jersey Devils. Oh, we got to do the scout assignment, man. A max ability med staff coming up. Finally, confirm that purchase. All right, how accurate are the progress reports from over the offseason? There were some attributes that were changed for players. Red Rakshani got worse. Oh, good. So Red Rakshani, our free agent signing, did have quite a bit of statistical drop-off. He went from, what did he go from? An 82 to an 80. Greening, who was already here, he dropped to a 79. And this is all of his changes and everything that dropped off for Colin Greening, my bottom six forward. Tamerna's got better. Wow, the growth, man. It's what I needed from this guy. My acquisition from Vancouver has really been paying off, man. Big playoff run the first year he was here. He bumps up to an 86 on D. That really helps as well. He had 10 attributes modified, man. That helps with the loss of Boychuk. Marchand, unfortunately, statistically got worse, and he is entering his age 30 season. So Marchand dropping off just a little bit, but a statistical drop-off. 85 now from an 86. Torrey Krug got a little better. So whatever Torrey Krug did last year, it worked for him. The 27-year-old joins the squad as the free agent signing for me, just to shore up the D a little bit with the loss of Boychuk, of course. Brendan Gallagher getting worse. I mean, I'm just thinking Gallagher is a guy we got to potentially trade one of these days. Maybe we package Gallagher and a first-round pick and get Kovalchuk off the Devils, and something to think about there. Maybe. I don't know if Gallagher has the trade value to pull that off, though. You know, I might take a look and see what Kovalchuk's trade value is, just for the fun of it, just for funsies, you know. Kamayev, I can't believe I just said funsies. Kamayev is dropping off here from an 82 to an 81. I really didn't need that for Kamayev. He was an RFA this summer. We brought him back. Babchuk, no drop off. So all these guys didn't drop off. They didn't grow, but they didn't get worse. So that's all my skaters. What about Price? Because Price, where's my goaltenders? Price, no drop off, but he stays at a 90. And we gave him that new contract. He is an elite goaltender, truly is. And elite just won the Vezina Trophy. Oh, he's 35, man. And that trade value is crazy for Kovalchuk. He's 35 years old. He is, yeah, obviously he's making 6.6 for 7 years left on the deal. What did he do last year? He had an 82-game season, 28 goals, 71 points. I mean, it's just not worth it to trade for an aging Ilya Kovalchuk unless you're just all in. You know, you got to be all in for that. And if we took that on, I mean, I'm just curious. What is the trade value of Brendan? It's not at all. Gallagher. Oh, this is skaters matching the block. Where is Gallagher? Yeah, Gallagher's got like no trade value. So there's Gallagher's trade value at the bottom. He wouldn't even fetch you a first-round pick back. So, yeah. You know, I didn't pay attention. But did Vovoda grow over the course of our little off-season? He's probably not on the main roster. Sukai Ming is down, but that's fine. We're about to start preseason. I'll call everyone up that needs to be called up. Ming is an 85. And so I don't know. And that's what he was last year. But, I mean, wow, look at the shooting category for Sukai Ming. 94 accuracy. He doesn't have the slap shot power, but he's not the biggest guy. Is Ming really... Wait a minute. What? Ming isn't supposed to be 6'2"? He's 5'11", is he not? It says he's 6'2", 194. Why is he 6'2", 194? Did he just grow? Did he do something in the summer that he just got bigger? Is this a glitch? He's supposed to be like 5'11". Vovoda's down here. Vovoda is a 72. So he's just an AHL guy, right? He played in the A last year. We looked at his stats and what he did in the A last season. So maybe Voivoda just not quite NHL ready. What about Leon Draisaitl, 64 overall now? What did he do last year in the A? He played 22 games. That's it? 22 games and three points. We're giving Kohlberg a shot. Did he play in the A last year? He did. He played in the A last year, and he had 30 points and 70. Kohlberg, like he's a cyborg or something. he might grow a little bit. He's 24. I think the growth is going to be very capped for him. So, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he becomes like a fourth-line player for us in the future. Fucale, man, your growth is really slow, but you're getting there. 67 overall now at 23 years old. Fucale's a player you just got to wait on, but he is, he's the guy to take over the crease from Carey Price at the end of Carey Price's tenure. But, we just gave Price. We find Carey Price here. We're going to go back to the NHL. His deal is 5 years? 5-year deal at 30 years old right now. So Carey Price is going to be in that goal crease for a while to come. So that is it for this episode. I'm a little burned out. Been recording for a little bit here. And we did all that off-season work. Duncan Keith is obviously, he's on the trade block there. You can see it on your screen. And Daniel Sedin on the block. He just won a bunch of trophies. Maybe we look at Sedin, see what his trade value is. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode. We'll pick it up with the season simulation in the next one.